Hello everyone, and welcome to a video I've been trying to get out for a while, but there have been a bunch of complications, and on top of that, a little bit of burnout on my part, just in terms of the video making process. This is actually the third time I've re-recorded this. Every other time I have tried to, once I finish recording, I go to put the footage into my computer to edit and something goes wrong. Either I apparently ran out of memory and didn't have enough, or some other random complication. But now, I'm hoping it'll work this time. We'll see. Today we're going to be looking at a spring body head I completed a few months back. If you guys are up to date on my channel, you would have seen the short I put out where I did a quick look at it. It's the third spring body mask I've actually made. The first one being a weird cardboard box that looked awful. The second one being right here. It's not that good, especially in terms of my newer stuff. It was alright for my, skill set at the time. I was still learning how to wrap stuff in fabric, so as a result, it had a lot of wrinkles and stuff on it. And then finally we got this one, which is actually designed to be a cosplay head and not just a prop. What makes this different from my prop heads is that it's actually built out of foam and is more comfortable and designed to be worn for a longer period of time. The design is actually based off of all the spring body designs I could find, like FNAF 3 Spring Trap, Scrap Trap, how spring body is portrayed in the visual novels, along with some other stuff. I liked how the cleft snout kind of looked instead of the weird smooth one that spring body is normally portrayed with. And then I will admit I made the bottom jaw a little bit bigger than I meant to. I might go back and fix that later. But for now, I think it looks fine, especially for a unique spring body design. So, when making a foam head, I've learned some tips and tricks. This is I believe this is, when I made it, the second foam head I had done. I've made another one since, which I feel like is a little bit better than this one. And I'm currently working on a fourth one, which I think is turning out pretty well. I'll actually bring the fourth one out to kind of explain how I, made the base for this, along with provide any pictures that I have. I don't know how many I took while building this. I kind of just kind of zoned out and constructed a lot of it, but I'm pretty sure there are some in progress pictures and stuff up. So just to kind of explain how I built this, I'm gonna pull out this head that I've been working on. This is the core of a Nightmare Fredbear cosplay head that I'm working on as a commission for somebody. Where you can kind of see, I start out by making this weird kind of circular barrel shape. And that becomes the base of the head. Now with Spring Bonnie, I didn't actually have to do any further detailing on top of this, aside from rounding out the head. Because he's got a very thin face. The only thing I really had to do was the snout. He doesn't have any special pronounced cheeks, or at least not from how I wanted my design to look. And then in order to round out the head, what you want to do is actually start layering the head up kind of like a cake, if that makes sense. So you kind of round out the tip of where your oval shape ends. And then you glue on a slightly smaller circle of foam on top of that, and then round that out. And if that's as round as you want it to be, good. I'm pretty sure I did 3 layers for that, actually. So it's about the same as this one. So essentially keep going until you've got the roundness you want without making the head look too tall. And then eventually have this nice rounded out shape. Now, while it is still not covered up with fabric, it's gonna look, there's gonna be a little bit of imperfections, but when you wrap it up in fabric, if you do it tight enough, it will cause the foam to kind of any thing, smaller bits that are sticking out to kind of bend inward, just kind of help it smooth out a little bit, and that's what you want. If there's anything that's sticking out a little bit too much, of course you want to go through and trim it. It is a very messy process though. My room is currently covered in tons of foam scraps. And then after that, you get the base of the head done, you're gonna want to work on a snout. So the snout for this is, I believe, made out of 2 layers of 1-inch thick foam. Similar to how I kind of layered the top of the head, you're going to want to do one flat thing of the snout and then glue another piece on it and then round those 2 pieces out. You can kind of see on this one that I didn't have to do a whole lot of more rounding out because I wanted it to look a little bit more square. And I think it turned out pretty good, especially like, you know, considering I used to use cardboard for snouts and stuff. I feel like I'm getting pretty confident in my ability to do snouts. And then after that is when I started wrapping stuff in fabric. This is why the bottom jaw is actually a bit too big. The way I do bottom jaws is I put down the like top of the head with the snout, and then I trace it out, like just the overall shape, and then maybe make some adjustments depending on how I want this like bottom jaw to be shaped. And my issue is that I had already wrapped the top part of the head in fabric, so it was actually the foam like tracing that I did was a little bit wider than it would have been because it also had like the like thicker fleece fabric like accounted for it. So once I added more fabric onto it, it ended up looking way thicker and more pronounced than what I like to. Please, if you are trying to do this yourself, do make sure that you do the bottom jaw before you actually start wrapping the top jaw in fabric. And then afterward, I started working on the ears after I wrapped this in fabric. And this. The reason why I wanted to do the bottom jaw first instead of the ears is because the ears kind of make things top heavy, especially for like the rabbit characters and stuff. So it becomes a lot harder to work with, like, you know, positioning this over or like trying to move it around when you're doing the tracing part for the bottom jaw. And like I said before, the head is fully wearable. There is, if you look inside there, you can kind of see I cut a area out in the fabric right behind where the snout is, so the like nose of whoever's wearing it can rest comfortably. Oh, and I get this question asked a lot. The thing I used in order to keep the ears in place without bending fully is not cardboard like I normally do. I actually used a small, like, thin sheet of plastic. The reason why I use plastic is because it's more durable, and over time, foam ears will actually, or not foam ears, over time, cardboard ears will actually start to they'll get weaker and weaker over time, and it'll end up with what we have going on with my original Spring Bonnie head, where you can kind of see this one is like folded straight forward. It's not really, it's just flopped over one of the eyes, and this one is just straight up like, it's caving in part of the framework that's keeping it up. There are supports in here, but it even caved those in, so yeah, cardboard is not the best for rabbit characters just because it's hard to like make it so that their ears are properly supported. You know, afterwards, once I got the bulk of the ears wrapped in fabric, I started to put like the little details and stuff onto the head. So stuff like the nose, the teeth, these little eyelids. This is actually the first time I've done built-in eyelids to a head. I thought it really added to it, even though, you know, a lot of like some of the Springtrap designs I was basing it off of didn't have eyelids visible. I thought it was a nice touch. And then I also did these like the smudge marks and the little yellow patches around the ears. So you can see I smudged it up a little bit, especially around the eyes to help them look darker, but I didn't want to go overboard because I wanted this to look like a well-worn costume, but not withered. So just something that like someone had like worn for maybe, you know, like weeks without washing. So there's like minor smudge marks all over the place for this thing. So to put it on, it's pretty simple. You just kind of slide it over your head, and it fits comfortably. Because the foam is a lot more comfortable to wear than, you know, like the cardboard ones, because the cardboard ones you need to put like some kind of extra padding in just to like keep stable. This head feels really soft around, you know, your face, and it's kind of pleasant to wear, to be completely honest with you. It's something that like someone could easily wear for like, you know, like you take to a convention where they're like go to Comic-Con or something, I don't know. I'm probably not going to use this for that. Most of my props are for filmmaking purposes. I wanted something I could wear for longer without having to worry about like any kinds of like mold growing inside of it from the moisture, because that's a huge issue with cardboard. Cardboard heads will deteriorate pretty fast when exposed to moisture, such as like sweat or like just the moisture from your breath when you're breathing, which, you know, obviously is not good because you don't want it to break. But on top of that, it can also grow mold, which can cause health effects if you're like sitting there like kind of inhaling next to it and stuff. So whenever I do actual cosplays, I like using foam. It's a lot safer to use, and it's, you know, more sturdy. However, if I'm just doing like a cheaper film prop, I probably still will continue to use cardboard, which is what the Nightmare characters I did last year, and you know, my Fredbear animatronic were built out of. So I'm not fully shifting out of cardboard because it's still a lot cheaper to do. It's just if I'm doing something that's designed to be wearable, I'm going to be going for you know, full foam. Speaking of doing more cosplays and stuff, I do plan on making the full cosplay, so do keep an eye out for that. I'm honestly excited to work on that. However, right now, like I said, I am working on a Nightmare Fredbear commission, which is turning out great. So yeah, one last detail I haven't shown you guys yet about the Spring Bonnie head. I did make eyes for it. These are for like any scenes I want to do where it's in the animatronic mode instead of suit mode, where you can just slip in these eyes. There we go. So there's how it looks with the eyes inside. I could pick it up and show it to you guys, though I will say the eyes do not have any sort of like permanent way to be affixed in, because, you know, I want them to be able to be removable. They're just kind of like gently stuck in there for now. They're adjustable because, like I said, they're not permanently in there. There's nothing really holding them aside from like the outside of the socket just kind of gripping them. So you can put the eyes in, and I think I did a pretty good job on the paint job for these. I'm getting a lot better with how my eyes are painted. I feel like some of the Nightmares kind of look a bit too cartoony, especially Nightmare Chica with their eyes, but I thought this one came out beautifully. To be fair, it is supposed to look cartoony, so whatever. But yeah, I'm very proud with how this had turned out. I feel like there are some things I could have done better, like especially in terms of fabric wrapping still. However, it's nothing that really bothers me too much at the moment, and I'm very, like I said, proud of how this turned out. There are other heads I've built since then, and you can maybe expect videos on them in the future. Again, sorry, I have not uploaded in forever. Burnout has been just, you know, a big issue for me, at least for video making. Like I said, I've still been working on props, still been doing all my normal stuff, just haven't been uploading as often. However, I am feeling like I'm gonna be in the mood to start, you know, putting out videos at least once a week, or if I can't put out a video, or you know, don't have any ideas for a video to put out for a week, I'll do a live stream or something where it could be me working on a prop, or something simple as just, you know, me playing a video game and stuff and talking with you guys. So anyways, stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!